Hello, everyone. My name is Huobi. It's a big pleasure to be here with you today. I live in Albania. I have been working in the banking system for almost 16 years now. 12 years of this have been in the financial department and the treasury department lately. Today we are going to discuss about the cryptocurrencies and how we can see them in a bigger picture and how they can be a safer investment for the future. So I'm going with a big observation that I have watched during this period of time, because here in Europe we are experiencing a big problem with the economic crisis. And one of the biggest topics here was about the liquidity. As we have seen, the financial market has not been very stable during this period of time. During the last month, many people have suffered a lot in trading, in cryptocurrencies, many of them in Forex, in stocks. Nothing was performing because the up and downs that the economy is already facing. However, most of this part comes because of the new speculations and not because the governments are having this type of problems to be very big. So overall, it's not that big as it looks like. However, as we can see, there was a big move of liquidity. During the economic crisis, we have seen that we have the so-called Safehaven currencies. I will begin with the currencies because these are one of the topics, how we are going to look at the cryptocurrencies in the future. So the first one, when the economy is in crisis, the people tend to invest, to move their funds in USD, chief, yen. So they are called safe haven currencies. When we had this crisis, everything moved there, and USD, chief, and yen, they became very strong at the moment. But after that, everyone understood that the economic crisis here in Europe was going to be bigger, and also the problems that we are facing here, also with the oil prices, everyone understood that this is not going to end anytime soon. So we are already facing a different type of liquidity during this time that was very different from the past that we have already seen. So what was interesting is that we saw the market to take a new position on the currencies. We saw that the Japanese yen is suffering a lot of losses during this period of time. We are watching that the Swiss franc is moving down. So they are having these problems because the people want to stay away from Europe. And what they already do, they move in other currencies. So we can see a type of shift of liquidity in the actual market. So the shift of liquidity, as I have seen, was mainly in Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and Canadian as well, Canadian dollar. This was because they were too far from Europe. On the other hand, people try to invest also in metals during the economic crisis. So also gold, silver, oil, they tended to increase very much in prices, that it was something not normal what we are actually facing now, because many of them are overvalued. So we are watching the safe haven currencies that they were before. They were not in the same positions, the USD dollar, the chief, the Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. But on the other hand, we saw something different this time. Why we saw a type of reposition on the shift of the liquidity? Because from one part, New Zealand is too far away from Europe, New Zealand dollar. Australia is too far away. On the other hand, we have the Canadian dollar. It's too far away from Europe. And what they do, what do they have in common? So they have in common that we have, in Canada, we have oil production. We have in Australia, we have mining. So we have the part related with the metals. On the other hand, they are economies that they are not facing problems like here because they are not connecting with Europe. Another interesting aspect was with the Japanese yen, that they said that they have to face economic crisis because most of their income are related with Europe. So we have a complete reposition of the cash flow in the market. But what was really interesting during this period of time that I have observed was also the cryptocurrencies. So when we look at the past during the pandemic period of time, it was very interesting because the price of everything in stocks market, in cryptocurrencies and everything moved down very fast because the people were scared, were in panic. They didn't want to invest because they were facing something very, very strange, very different as before. So we saw everything to move down in stocks as well and in cryptos as well. But during this period of time that it was really surprising, in my opinion. I was expecting, like everything else, Bitcoin was going to move down, all the other cryptocurrencies, altcoins, Ethereum, everything. But it was a surprise that they didn't move at all. So overall, we are watching something very different when it comes to the previous times that we have invested. So we are looking a new safe haven currencies. So now we are not having as a safe haven only the metals related with gold, only dollar, chief yen, chief Japanese yen, gold, silver. So for the time being, they are not only the only one that are going to save value during the economic crisis or big problems that we are going to face. So it looks very clear, and we are going to look at also on the charts, that Bitcoin show it to be very strong, Ethereum show it to be very strong, and also we have also many other currencies that they are showing to be very strong at the same time, because the economy is not going to stop just because of economic crisis or because they are blocked for the moment. So the life goes on. So we don't have to be very skeptical with this type of new instruments. On the other hand, I know that many people are a bit skeptical about investing in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other cryptocurrencies, but many of them are a very big project. As we have seen during this time, the fact that Bitcoin didn't move at all is showing that there is a lot of liquidity there, and too many people are not selling it. They are not going into Ethereum and to have just to stay on the side. So they are just holding their investment, because we need to rely on too much also on the past. What has happened? Bitcoin went down to 3,000 when it was in pandemic time period, and after that it made a very, very strong movement that it moved higher. So overall, these cryptocurrencies show it to be very strong also on the past. So actually now, after 2 years from the pandemic time, we can see very clearly that they held their value. So they are becoming a more trustful way of investment, how we can see. So overall, in my opinion, it's a very good idea not to have all the money invested just in only basket. And this means that we have many people that invest in just only in currencies, just only in gold, or probably only metals, shares. A portfolio, an investment portfolio should be overall diversified, because it protects us from the risk exposure. It means that if one of the market is going to go down, not all the other markets are going to move down. If cryptos are going to decrease their value, it is not said that also metals are going to decrease value or shares, because the economies perform in different ways. However, I'm very positive when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because many of them are actually showing that the volume keeps growing day after day. Many people are still talking about the crypto investments, how they want to invest, big amounts, small amounts. Many of them are huge speculators. Some others don't want to speculate at all, just to have solid investments. So with this, I'm not saying that all the projects of the cryptocurrencies, because there are too many, they are good. But with some work done from our side as well, we can read everywhere. The internet is open with different type of materials. We can select some good projects, and we can diversify and protect our incomes for the future days. So we don't have to invest in only one instrument, in my opinion, because after that, all your money will be in risk. There is no only one instrument that is going to keep your money safe. So also, if you keep them in a bank account, they are not going to generate money at all. So it's not a good idea, in my opinion, and also from my experience that I have had so many years in the banking sector. What the banks usually do is that they collect funds. There is a clear reason why they collect. They collect funds to invest in shares, to invest in treasury bonds, treasury bills, different financial instruments. So overall, they get your money with a cheap price or probably zero. Here in Europe, euro has been also in negative interest rates. So they are going to take your money and they are going to invest somewhere else with a higher interest yield. So they are going to benefit with your money. Why not to invest them? So if we see, for example, Bitcoin is holding very strong, volume is increasing. We can see on the charts that Bitcoin already has a lot of history. It's a beautiful thing when we look at the technical analysis and how it works out, because many people don't believe, but there we can find the footprint of the money. It's very clear how it shows the position of the money, the position of the investor. So I'm not relating this only with the cryptocurrencies chart, but with everything. So all we have to do is to look at the charts and also to see the past, how it has worked. I am very conscious that many of the cryptocurrencies that are already in the market, they are relatively new, they don't have history. They are very good projects, but not too many people want to invest in them. And on the other hand, they are making hyperparabolic moves. And there is a reason after that why many people see some of them to move higher and some of them to move lower as well. So the reason is because the liquidity is not very solid in some of them. For example, in Bitcoin, we are watching a very solid volume. The market is showing that Bitcoin is very strong. They love Bitcoin. They love Ethereum. At the moment that we are speaking, for the time being, 22 of the cryptocurrencies of the overall volume is positioned in Bitcoin, and the rest 18%. Is positioned in Ethereum. So we have in altcoins only 40%. So we can think that probably in altcoins we have many speculators. Of course that we have speculators are in every type of instrument. So it's something that no one can rule out the possibility, and because they want to make fast money every day or probably every minute. So, but the rest of the people that like the projects, they don't tend to move the money. And for the time being, Bitcoin, Ethereum, some other good projects that are related with the payments as well, they are holding actually their value in the market in a very, very beautiful way. The reason is because they are showing to be good by connecting contracts, but by making contracts with big institutions like banks, like with other countries. For example, I will mention some topics related. For example, the last one that we had, that the Russian government went to insert Bitcoin in order to sell natural gas. So you may think, what is this all about? It's not about something that we care at all, why they are going to use Bitcoin. if we see their intention, it's not our job to anticipate that. But what is good in this thing is because a new volume is going to come in the market. We have to look at the beautiful part of investment, that more liquidity will be there. This big liquidity will not let the cryptocurrencies to move down, will stabilize the market. So this is going to be very, very, very good for the future. So the price will not make very big up and downs. So we are watching here a new way of investment. Also from the technical perspective, everything will work much more better, because this liquidity that will not move up and down without any reason at all, that we have all heard and read about the big whales, big funds, that they are making these up and downs in the market, and for the small investors like us, it's not good at all. On the other hand, with this big liquidity, we are going to look at that all of this is very stable, and we are going to look at for a new type of investment. So overall, the cryptocurrencies, they are going to be equal with the currencies that we already have. Also, I want to mention something here, that some of the cryptos, like for example, XRP or XLM, that are increasing their value in a very beautiful way. Okay, we have up and downs for the moment, but what are they doing? They are increasing their value by connecting, for example, contracts. It means that this is showing that they are very useful in the actual market. XRP have contract with banks. They are just expanding their market. So for the time being, they are all over the market, up to 70 countries for the time being. So this is not small at all. It's a very big thing. You can think that, okay, if I'm going to invest in XRP, am I going to be rich now? No, you are not going to be rich now, because this is not a good way of thinking, because many people think that investing is a very easy thing. Just let's go, let's invest, and tomorrow we are going to be rich. No, that's not true at all. So we just to be patient with this type of investment. With time, the people will realize that this is a very good thing. For example, I'm taking the example of XRP. I don't want to push any one of the cryptos. And after that, people are going to invest. They see that a specific cryptocurrency is expanding, but when it will expand, it will move in a second level. So if the price now is 1, it is going to be 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after that, it will keep growing, because we are going to see that everything is moving from the price where it was before. And don't think twice, because the price is not going to be in the same place where it is now after they are going to increase their network, because everyone is going to invest after that. It's the same thing as with US companies, as we have seen. Many of them, they have begun with something small, something that was just a small dream, and after that we saw the big dreams to become big dreams. So this is how it works. So I've been skeptical, to be honest, with investing in cryptocurrencies as well. But when we see these amazing projects, they can be our future, because also in the actual situation where we are now, there were people that were big dreamers, and here look at where we are now as a population. So we have advanced a lot in the last century. So this is huge for our community. So probably the cryptos can give us another way of looking at the things. So we just need to believe in investing and select the good ones. So if you don't want to select too many of them, just make a small research, invest in some of them, and let your equity to grow there. So it is not good sometimes to speculate, because one beautiful day, 1 year after, now or probably 2 years, those 1,000 or 2,000 USD that you are going to invest, probably they are going to be 100, 200,000. So that is not bad at all, seen from a different perspective. Why not to have that diversification of investment? And on the other side, it's something that this type of amount invested that for someone can be ridiculous because they are very small, they can be very, very big in the future. So just take a small risk, I guess. So overall, I wanted to emphasize the fact that with the cryptocurrencies, we are just going to move in another type of investment. They are going to be a safe haven asset like gold, like specific currencies, and we are going to have also the cryptocurrencies. So the same as Bitcoin and Ethereum, they didn't move value at all from the price that they were before 2 months. So this is showing that probably the market already chose their safe haven cryptocurrencies. This is something that it's not done by specific people. It is done by market psychology, a market from the market composition. So as long as we saw that 42% of the investment in cryptocurrencies is already in Bitcoin, and also 20% is already in Ethereum, this is showing that probably here we have the two strongest safe haven cryptocurrencies. Here we have the safe haven cryptocurrencies assets. So probably this is going to be also the future. I wanted also to share with you that except Russia, as you have heard or read probably, that want to use Bitcoin, we have also Rio de Janeiro that they are ready to accept Bitcoin for property taxes for the customers. So they want to make it very clear for the payment. So it's easy, and they want to have one part of their funds in Bitcoin as well. So this is something huge when it comes to these cash flows. On the other hand, we have also one of the biggest is Israel's largest bank, founded in 1902. Also, that is enabling the crypto trading to its customers. So overall, this is becoming huge. Also, as I heard on the previous webinar, JP Morgan invested in Bitcoin. So if we hear this type of news, it's something that the market overall is taking a position. It is not well regulated, as we all know, but as long as the governments are trying to create a place for the cryptocurrencies, JP Morgan invested in cryptos, it means that they have a space, a legal space where they found this, because the banks is for sure that they don't invest in all the instruments if they don't have something that is well regulated, or probably something that they have to take the permission from a bank of a higher level that usually is a central bank. So with time, all volume in the cryptocurrencies will begin to grow on step by step, and they are going to be a very beautiful type of investment, in my opinion. I would like also to share with you some analysis when it comes to Bitcoin. We are going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and if we are going to have time, we are going also to look at Ripple and how it reacted during this period of time. So just let me share the screen. So as we can see here, I'm going to analyze the Bitcoin chart. I have placed two lines. There is a reason for these lines here. Look at the date here. Here is 14 February 20. So So here is the pandemic period of time. At this point, we can see the market, how it moved down. Look at the panic. This is all panic here. Just one moment, sorry. This is all panic that dragged the price down. It was 10K and it moved down to 4,000K. And look at how the price recovered everything after that. We saw the first movement. All of this recovery was done only in 80 days. What happened during this period of time? Let's go and look at the other part of the structure. Look at how the price moved here. So usually this type of movements, these are hypermania cycle. These are very strong movements when the market begins to invest. You can say that probably too many people were also in crypto investing, in shares and in many other things, and they didn't have anything to do at home, but I don't believe in that. That is a normal volume that the market accumulate. However, all of this investment here and all of these moves, these are because the people, the overall market likes to believe that something is going to hold the value very strong of their investment. So what is happening with this hypermania cycle? I don't know if many of you have heard about it. So this hypermania cycle is divided in many stages at this point. So we have one of the first stages that is hope. It comes up to the first level, and this is showing that the recovery is possible. The market should continue to move higher. And here we have the market. Price made another structure high. What is happening with this second structure? The market here, we can see optimism. There is a clear reason for that, because the price is trying to break higher and higher above the previous structures. In this way, the people are thinking that probably this is the right way of investment. They have to invest. And here we have the second phase here. So we have the hope. It works the same for all the market, and we have seen this type of cycles. I'm going to keep it in this way for all the people that don't know how it works out. So we have the hope phase. We have another one that is going to be optimism. This is going to be real very soon. So let's go and invest more. And what people are going to do here? What is going to do the market? Probably the market at this point, they think that they have to believe in something, and this is going to be real, that the market keeps pushing and pushing higher. It is not just in this part. So we have waves. In technical analysis, we can see that the market push up and down with waves. So all of these waves are strong investment. This is showing that the liquidity just keeps growing in this part of the movement. Sorry. So what is actually happening now? The market is increasing their investment at this type of structures. They believe that the price will keep moving higher and higher and higher. In the next phase, it comes to thrill. The market at this point, they believe that they want to buy more and more and more. And in this type of corrections, these are called corrections, this is a moment when the market makes a pause. And during this pause, these people want to buy more and more. So they are going to increase the liquidity in the market during this type of consolidation. And what the price actually does in this situation is that it keeps moving higher. And the last phase here is euphoria. What is happening at this stage? All the market participants that have been until this moment, they think that they are smart, they are genius, they are going to be rich, everyone is going to be rich, and the market is going to continue on. But that is not true at all. And after that, we can see that everything moves down. So now we are in a corrective phase here. What is happening during this correction? This is something very beautiful because it comes as the opposite side. So here, the market here still think that this is just a small correction and this is going to stop here. After that, they begin to think, what is happening with my investment at this point? Because this is getting a bit difficult, a bit stronger, so the market is not moving as I was expecting. Let's go with another one, because this is very interesting. It develops in the same way, so we need to be very careful with this type of price developments. We need to be careful jumping in these phases, but we don't have to be careful jumping when the price moves down at the lower ones, because this is going to be the right moment. So what is going to happen after this moment? We have the denial. At this point, the market participants, they think that this is not a good investment at all. And here we have the panic that comes in the end of the wave. Everyone that bought at the top now is just broke at this point. And who trades, who has experienced the market losses, know it very well that after this period of time that we see these deep pullbacks, this is called deep pullback, the market tend to increase value and to move higher again. So after making all of this, now I'm going to break down what is the most important part for us. And I'm going to relate all of this with the actual volume that is in the market. So this is the most beautiful and interesting part here. This is something that I have shared also in my group as well. As we can see, I am connecting the top and the bottoms. This is done in order for us to make a local zone and to look at the market, because we are on the daily chart. What we are going to do here is that we are going to look at the structures. The market, after accumulating volume, this is the volume that is moving here. This was the high, this was low. What the price is showing here at this area, because the price was stopped here at this point. It didn't move lower than this point. So probably the market here is telling to us that this is the minimum point where they want to see Bitcoin. And the minimum point here, it comes very clear. It is up to 30,000. So the market doesn't want the price to move lower at this point. What we can see else, so we are going to collect data. The market pushed the price higher. What happens during this period of time? Because overall, we are inside a big corrective pattern. This is a daily corrective pattern. Also, if you go on the weekly, it's a weekly one. So this is very large correction. Usually, this type of corrections are done when the market is accumulating volume. This can continue in this way, and after that it can move higher, or probably this can move higher from this point. You can raise the question and you can say that why are you saying that the market after this point can move higher, or probably it can move higher from here, and all of this is accumulation? Because we are watching many things that also the governments are increasing the market volume. They want to place Bitcoin in their wallets. They have to have another way of investment. So this is getting very interesting. Finally, we are having a new base for the cryptocurrencies. Look at Bitcoin. This is a new base, and I'm really sure that the price is not going to break down lower than that. Because if the governments are going to invest and to have funds in cryptocurrencies, what is going to happen is that this will not go lower than a specific point because they have funds. They are not going to remove their liquidity because someone wants to remove the liquidity. So it will be very, very stable process. And this type of movements overall, it can be a range trading, but overall this is a flag pattern. This can be also the beginning of the bullish movement. The problem with this type of patterns is that we will never know when this is going to happen. Is this going to continue in this way for many years to make up and downs in this area? Because the actual areas are very strong, the top was very strong. So all of these points that show it a big pressure from the upside, they show it that the market don't believe that the price should go more than this point. So let's go and look at the price. The price here at this point, it was something at 67K, 68K, because here we have also many market participants that they want to close profit at this point, because they can be from the bottom as well. So probably someone bought at this point, bought here, and it's normal that they are going to close the profits at the top. We can see a chart, but the chart from top to bottom, from bottom to top, this is 100% movement. So who doesn't want to close profits and with a double and to double his account? So it's something very normal for longer term investors, because all of this wave here from bottom to top, we can see 120 days. So we are almost at the middle of the year. So this is one of the interesting things here. So overall, as I see, the market can be blocked for a longer period of time until everyone will believe that Bitcoin has to move higher. So this is a very good consolidation. It's a good scenario for the bullish continuation movement. What is very interesting, so now I'm going to break it down. This is an old analysis that I have done, and it's still valid. You will see that it's very beautiful how the market works out on the technical perspective. The market doesn't respect all the time the technical perspective at all, because the market has to make its moves. But we can see that with time, everything becomes more stable. So look at two beautiful parts that I'm watching here at this point. So on the left side, we can see that we have a wedge pattern here. These wedge patterns, rising wedge patterns, These rising wedge patterns, they are created when the market is going to change the direction of the price. What we can see, the price broke down from the pattern, and a normal behavior of the price is that it tends to correct some parts of the movement. And after that, we see the next movement that is going to be in the opposite direction of the main trend. This is called a corrective movement, as long as the first one was the impulsive movement that was coming from the downside. The beautiful part here is that this breakdown. After the rising wedge pattern, we saw this consolidation. So at the lower part of the structure, price completed this type of correction. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 movement here. This is a classical type of movement that can be impulsive or corrective. So let's go on. Price broke out above the pattern, and we can see the bullish continuation movement from this point. And here we have the other wave. Price found resistance on the top, and it moved lower from this point. The beautiful part that I observed on the charts, because the price tends to repeat itself very often, is that price broke out from this wedge that is on the right, and it corrected lower. You can say that, why did I find this part interesting? This is one of the most beautiful part here that is related with all of the part that we actually discussed until now. This line here represents all the problems that we are facing here in Europe. It was somewhere at the beginning of February. So look at the maximum drawdown that Bitcoin made here. Look at the bearish movement. So it was not so big. This was 16%. If we include also this shadow of the candles here, it was 23%. What is normal for us is without the shadows of the candles. So overall it was 16%. It was not big at all. And all of this during of time that we are facing problems with prices, with the economic crisis, with the price of oil, that all these instruments are making up and downs, we saw Bitcoin to correct in this area. And this is the Safehaven cryptocurrency. So it showed it to be very strong. After we saw this breakout, the correction that is happening right now, this correction was very normal at this point, because the price was consolidating, was collecting volume, and it was getting ready to move higher. So here we are in a beautiful situation. We are still on the daily chart, and the price at this point broke out from a daily structure. It's a very nice structure because now the price is correcting at this point, and after the correction, when the price breaks this type of structure, it tends to move higher and higher after this point. So the next target that we are going to look at here is the top of the structure. This is the first one, and this is the second one. So the second one will be a minimum of 63K. So this is what is going to happen on the daily chart. So don't miss this scenario, because this is going to be very beautiful. I'm not expecting at all to move down the price. Probably we can see any small correction at this point. A small correction, I mean that probably this can make a small correction inside the area. Sometimes it's not something bad at all after it continues higher. But the beautiful scenario would have been if we see the price to stop above the structure, how this is already stopped. So this is a perfect scenario. Let's go and break it down on the 4-hour time frame. What we are looking at the price here. Look at what price already did at this point. Price broke out from this channel, the channel formations. This was an ascending channel. Price tend to correct, and after that to move down. We can say that as long as the price broke above the structure, it should continue to move higher. However, all of this is possible. How we can create our scenario now, how we can trade, because this is the most interesting part, not just to jump into the trade, because this is showing to us that the price can make this type of movement, it can create this type of leg. This is something very common for the price, and after that it can continue moving lower. This is a possible scenario. How we are going to look at for the price to move higher, because we should never trade with emotions. It's very risky. Also when investing, it's very risky. Emotions kills our accounts. Also, they are not good for our emotions as well. So for the bullish movement, what do we need? Because we know that now we need a small flag here, and after that we can look at for the price development on the downside. On the other hand, if we are going to look at for the price to move higher, what we need to do is that we need the price to hold above this structure. We need to see a type of correction, because I don't think that this is going to move higher very fast, just to bounce from here and to increase volume. However, everything can happen in the market, but usually the price has a specific price behavior. So we can see that the price can correct somewhere here for a type of flag, and after that it can continue with the bullish movement after this point. So this can be the next scenario. Sorry. Just one moment. So this is going to be for us the next scenario. One flag at this point, and the market is going to make this movement. 1, 2, 3, and after that it can move higher. Well, this is part of the bullish scenario. So until that moment, you just have to be patient and to wait for the situation, because on the hourly time frame we can't see anything at all. It's not clear, but this is the best scenario how we can trade in this in Bitcoin. So hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thank you for watching and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.